Barry Greenstein. And down the felt from Barry is amateur Steve Pavlichek. At this main event, Steve is playing for more than just himself this year.
We've been playing poker, home games, little bar league poker stuff back in Atlanta for 10+ years. As most poker players do, always dream and talk about going to the main event someday. One of my close friends, Tom O'Meara, he was actually going to do it. He said, this is a bucket list item for me, and I'm saving up money, and I'm going to be playing in the main event someday. Last year, unfortunately, Tom got diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. As he was progressively, getting worse, he, called me over to his house one day and said, Steve, I can't do it, but I've made a decision. I'm going to buy you in my will. I'm going to send you and some other players, from our home game and live out my dream of playing in the main event.
I do feel very honored to be chosen because we have a lot of good female players that play with us.
I was just shocked and dumbfounded, but at the same time, not surprised. Tom just had a great big heart.
Just a funny guy, big-hearted guy. He was a fun poker player.
He was always helping people.
We got a silver card protector. It's engraved with his name and says, "In memory of Tom."
The expectation, I think, is just enjoy yourself and take in this experience.
Steve and Tom O'Meara were neighbors in Atlanta, played together on the neighborhood tennis team, and used to make poker trips together to Harrah's Cherokee in North Carolina.
Folded to Steve on the button with ace-10. Down a bit from the 50K starting stack. He's a system engineer. Had a birthday yesterday, 53 years old. He's going to raise it up to 700. And the small blind Jeff Platt, the Texas sportscaster, who had a nice finish at the main event a few years ago, he folds. There is Schindler in the big with 10-7 of clubs.
Jake is a high roller savant. Steve's just a nice guy from Georgia. This seems like an unfair matchup.
3 of the last 4 years he has cashed in the main event. There's a 3-bet to 2,400 with 10-7.
Don't let these young punk coalition guys push you around, Steve.
Yeah, Steve makes a call. I don't think it thrills Schindler.
Good call. I'm with the 50-something.
4-8-6, not a bad flop for 10-7. A double gutter for Schindler, who checks. Now Pavlichek.
Let's bet in position. They do it, we can do it.
And here he comes.
22.
With the best hand.
Well, Schindler's not going anywhere with his two-way straight draw. He just looks like trouble.
And a call from Schindler. Pot of almost 10 grand. Jack of spades misses Schindler. He checks again. And now Pavlichek, a 3-1 favorite now.
Well, Steve's arms started to move toward the chips, but his head stopped him.
Now committing some chips, 2,200 again.
2,200.
Steve showing a lot of heart, but I would have sized it bigger. As the great Kevin Clunder once said, if an amateur bets the same amount on the flop and the turn, he's usually weak.
FYI, Kevin is an associate producer on the show.
Oh, I thought he worked in the mailroom.
Schindler now trying to figure out the amateur. And wow, he's got all chips in his hand. He raises all in.
The bluff shove on day one. Man, you are swimming with sharks, Steve. These young punk coalition fellas have no regard for human life.
Schindler with a move that is not easy to do.
He's picked, though, a great spot here for this play because Steve Pavlichek has squadouche.
Yeah, Schindler maybe picked up something on the amateur. But quite a gamble from Schindler, and Pavlichek gives it up.
The young punk coalition guys are tearing this country apart.
Very tough for the rec player Pavlichek to commit more than half his chips with ace high. What a play by Schindler. You can't blame Steve for folding. Nice play from the young pro there.